Can you actually get paid to post on Instagram and TikTok? Well, you might have seen a lot of influencers come up, and many of them are physicians. People like Dr. Mike, not me, but there's another Dr. Mike, or the white coat investor. And even our own Dr. Ann gets paid by being a brand influencer or brand ambassador. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and how you can get started on a side gig as a physician influencer or physician brand ambassador. And tell us all about it.
Okay, so it starts first that you have to build a following on any type of social media platform, either YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you don't have to dance, but you have to be on the platform and post consistently and steadily. And right now, the trend is for brand, big brand. We have Nike reaching out to us, and we're working out with them right now. Big brands reaching out to you because they like to work with what they call micro influencer. So they don't want to work with that one that are one or millions of followers because they charge too much. And so they want to work with ones that are about above 20,000 and up because they feel that the micro influencer, your followers are more niche, they're more hyper focused, and you may even have a loyal following. And influencer or you as a doctor may be more open to working with the brand and producing more consistent content and maybe open to more deals. And it's maybe be a more affordable for them because like somebody like Kim Kardashian will charge millions of dollars for endorsing a product or something with more long-term commitment versus a micro influencer, which is myself. Well, I have 140,000 on our channel. So I'm getting to what they call mid-range influencer. So I got out of the micro because I'm over 100,000. Now I'm in mid-range. And what that means is that I have more brands approaching me. So the point I'm trying to make, doctor, is get on the social media platform, get hyper niche, and get clear on your message. What problem do you solve? Who do you serve? How do you solve that problem? And how did they work with you? Those are magic, the force that you need to follow if you're on any platform and every time you produce a video. And right now, focus on growing your following. And it does take time, but it only took me about a year to get to 1,000. When you get to 1,000, you grow very quickly. And it took me another year just to grow another 100,000. Just within the last 4 months, we grew 40,000 fairly quickly. So build that base first. Know that brands want to work with you because they know that you have viewers and eyeballs that are paying attention to your message. It's not the subscribers. Sometimes it's the views. So we have brands that reach out to us and they want to look at what they call a PR sheet where it shows the brand how many subscribers you have, but it also shows the brand how many views you have in the last 30 days, how many downloads, and what are the average views of your last, like, I think they ask for 20 videos because they want to know what influence you have. So that's number one. Choose your favorite platform. You know, my favorite is YouTube, followed by Instagram, because Instagram is easier to monetize than on YouTube. And so that's the best advice I can give to your doctor is define your personal brand. What problem you help, who you help, how you help, and how do they reach out to you. So never forget, the more hyper niche you are, the better. It's like when we work with doctors, we have doctors that are helping Black women over 50 lose weight. And that's hyper niche. Other doctor we work with, he helped men over 40 that used to be college athletes get more energy, as in like hormone replacement therapy. And so defining your personal brand. And once you have that message clear, then the other brand will identify with you. Like if you are in hormone space, then brands that carry supplements for female energy or weight loss may want to reach out and work with you, or supplements for menopause may want to work out with you, or other things that menopause female interested in. For myself, it's supplements, medical devices. At this time, those are the ones that are reaching out to us that want to work. And don't forget also, other influencers will also want to work with you as well to collaborate.
Yeah. Why is there a rise of what we call a doctor influencer, or some people call doctor influencers? is we know that there's a lot of craziness sometimes online, especially when it comes to medicine and medical topics. We've seen that since COVID, and it's just gotten worse. So there are brands who are looking for doctors to be that credible source, that person, and they want to be associated with that brand. So that makes it a great opportunity. So, most people think influencers are young and dancing on TikTok and everything like that. But there's also this room, you have another advantage as being a credible source of information. So they are looking to brand, and I don't think there's enough of that. And part of what we like to see in this channel is physicians to take ownership and to take advantage of it. It costs nothing to get started on your own YouTube channel or on Instagram. And thinking back of what you were saying about building your personal brand, you have to have a voice. You have to decide which way that you want to go. Do you want to be clinical, wear a white coat? I know this influencer right now who is a sports doctor. When a famous athlete or an NBA player gets injured, he comes on and he diagnoses what he thinks could have been the cause of the injury or what happened in the injury. Gets hundreds of thousands on it. Very clinical, very, very straight to the source. Others can be funny. I know, and you've had a few funny videos that are pretty comical too. But that's part of your personality as well. So it should be an extension of what your personality is. Is it relatable? Is it evidence based? So it's important that you find your voice when you're determining your personal brand.
And I want to stress to it, be yourself, be authentic. And I know that as doctors, we sometimes have this shield. We want to separate the doctor from the patient. But when you're on social media, I'm not saying share your personal story, family like that, but just be who you are inside and on the outside, because it will show on video. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times patient come and see me in the office, but they say, well, I watched your video. I feel that you're so authentic. I like the way you talk. You talk in a way that I can understand, that you just seem so personable. People can sense that. People can sense you being authentic instead of being someone that you're not comfortable with, or persona. Because when you are who you are, it shows through the screen. Even when Mike and I talk to other doctors, they don't want to show their face on camera. And I challenge them, and people will connect with people that they identify with. So if you're an introvert, another introvert will respond to you. I'm an extrovert and I attract more extrovert. I'm a female in a family of 6 of all men. I have 4 brothers and I tend to connect more with guys because I grew up with them and played sports with them, and somewhat of a tomboy as I was growing up. But it just be true to yourself, because your voice will shine through and people will see that as number one. And again, when you're a brand influencer, you already have the credibility as a doctor. You already have the expertise. And we always say to be an influencer, you need 3 things: is expertise, credibility, and a following. And you just need to grow the following, but you don't need to be in the millions of followers anymore. Just about 20,000 and up, is that's when brands start noticing you. In fact, one of the doctors we're working with, now only has 880 followers on YouTube, which is Tammy Penhalo, but she now having brands reach out to her to do a video already. We'll talk about this later, but she started a newsletter, and having a newsletter, her second publishing of her newsletter, she now have a sponsor in her newsletter. So I can tell you, you can really create your own media real estate. I mean it. It's like you don't have to be a CBS. Just as a doctor, you can create your own media channel and social media platform, and in a written platform like a newsletter, and an audio platform like a podcast. But guess what? You can do all 3 of that in one content, which is recording video, and get it repurposed in multiple content. Why am I talking about that? Because that's also part of building your portfolio to be a brand ambassador as well. That's how you get brands to notice you. So one of the things I want to talk about is the brand deals. We have been approached by brands, and oftentimes you always have to understand that it's a negotiation. And when brand reach out to you, sometimes you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy, man. Oh my God, somebody is reaching out to me. I'm finally making money. Do not take the first offer they give you. Hear me loud and clear, because they know that you're going to negotiate. It's like buying a car. When you go buy a car, you're not going to take the first deal that's given to you. It's a negotiation. and always know your worth and know what you stand for. And of course, you want to work with brand that you believe in, that you use, that you're very, very knowledgeable on. And you always want to make sure that whatever you do is you stay true to your voice, true to your brand. If you're not comfortable with a brand, don't work with it. I have actually turned down two companies that want to work with me that are willing to pay me $4,000 for a 30-second video, talk about their product, and I turned them down because I didn't feel that their product is what I truly would recommend for my patient or my followers. And I was true to myself, even though that company sells a lot of product, $1 million worth of product, but I just didn't feel that it was up to my standard and I didn't choose working with them. Is it a brand that you use every day that you recommend? Sure, work with them. But just at the end of the day, it's like, would you recommend it to your mother or your family to use? And don't take the first offer. Notice everything is negotiable and that the rules of engagement is whoever has the last say probably has the better deals.
In addition to branding too, it has to be kind of the right fit. Like we get approached on our podcast all the time, and I have a person who goes through it, and if it's not a fit for my audience, I don't really want it. It has to make sense from just an educational point. And like you said, would you be comfortable with this product for your family or your mom or for your colleagues? And so it just has to make sense. You're not compromising your values or your ethics when you're promoting that product. You're right. When you start building an audience, and that's the great thing about it, other brands are going to notice and they're going to want to know to learn how they can get their product or service in front of your audience.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about staying compliant.
So we're not attorneys. I'm going to give, I always have that disclaimer, but a few years ago, the FTC had some guidelines on things like sponsored posts and things like affiliate marketing. You have to be transparent. And we talked about affiliate in our last video. You have to be transparent that this is a product where if you decide to purchase it, in all likelihood, I'm going to get a commission because of it. So you have to have things that stated that is a sponsor. And so when you have a video, you've seen the videos with it, that this episode is sponsored by so-and-so. So we're all used to advertising, but before and the rise of the internet was a line that was gray and you didn't know if this was a sponsor or not. So the FTC came up with some guidelines that are helpful. So I invite you to look that up if you're not familiar with that. Secondly, we all know about HIPAA, and we all know that there's only so many things that we can say, especially when it comes time to patients. I would never, obviously, you don't want to give the patient's name, or even when you're sharing the patient's stories, you just have to be very broad if you're going to be sharing it. You don't want to have any details that can somehow help that patient or have some information about that. Again, it's just common sense. I avoid doing any kind of personal medical stories, but my channel is usually not based upon that. How do you kind of stay clear of that? Yeah.
So when you're talking about either a device or a supplement, don't make any claims that this will help this condition or cure this condition. You want to stay very general. And oftentimes, working with enough brand, they will tell you what you can say, what you cannot say, because the brands will know the FTC guideline and
You
ask
would
for
hope.
that.
You would hope, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So the brands that are credible, like the one I'm about to produce a video, they sent us the guideline. They said, these are the FTC guidelines. These are the things you can say. These are the things you cannot say. And you can't say, well, this device will help cure your ED. But you can say, this device will help loosen up tissue that will make it more flexible. But you can't just say this device help with ED. So you have to be general. You have to kind of describe what it does, but you also can't make that claim as well too. But I would tell you the best advice is ask for them for the guideline. They will provide that for you. Okay? They're a good brand. They work with other collaborators before. They provide that for you. Also, when you're working with brands, oftentimes they have a founder or they have a clinical vice president or chief medical officer. You can also interview them as one of their company for your episode as well. And that can be another upcharge. So you talk about the brand, but if you interview somebody that represents their company, that's another upcharge. But sometimes when you bring that up to the brand will go, oh, yeah, great idea. That's exactly what we did was that the brand approached us to talk about their product. But then we said, well, how about if we interview your founder on the podcast and have him share his story. They said, "Oh, great idea." Then we said, "Well, this is how much it's gonna be." So this is how much it's gonna be. They go, "Okay." So they didn't
I
think
love those
about that.
deals.
Yeah, they didn't think about that, but we brought it up. And they go, "Great idea." And then we also brought up, "Well, how about you want to put a little ad in our newsletter that comes out weekly?" And we have 15,000 subscribers in our newsletter. And they go, "Okay." Even though they didn't approach us with that a deal, we kind of upsell as well. So the point I'm trying to make is that there are different ways of engagement with the brand other than you just making the video social media at this point. For having dealt with brands, we know now that we can go deep with them once we produce a video. And also when you do that, make sure you have ownership of those videos. Okay. So you own those videos, even though they own it, but you also own it as well too. So make sure you negotiate, make sure that you have ownership of the video. And if they don't allow you to do that, then don't work with them.
To kind of sum up everything, we talked about defining your personal brand, decide what your voice is. You talked about creating your own platform, optimize content, choose a channel you want to be on. Then next step is you want to build credibility. You want to build engagement. You want to comment on things. Sometimes you want to collaborate with other channels or other influencers. Then we talked about getting brand deals and then finally staying compliant. And is there anything else you want to add to this?
No, I think I said enough. And if you do have a brand deal, reach out to us. You can reach out to us and join our free doctors community where we share all resources. And that's how you can work with us at doctors with an S onlinesuccess.com. That is our free community in school. And if you're curious about how your website doing in marketing, we also offer a free audit of your website. There's a link in description about getting a free marketing audit. So we're here to help you all. If you're doing a brand deal, talk with me or Mike. We've done multiple brand deals and we know certain pitfalls to avoid and certain things that you need to navigate carefully. And we've done enough that we can smell some deals that's not going to be good and some deals that are credible. And just beware, there are some people that may just spam you that are not brand deals at all. And how you can tell them apart is that oftentimes the email that they sent you, you have to make sure that it's brand consistent. So somebody said that they reach out to us, they were from Nike. This is like a true story. They were from Nike, but their email didn't even say Nike on their email has some weird name. And we're like, that's fishy. It's because somebody's reaching out to you from a company, their email should have that. They should have a website and they should also have a PR sheet. And like I said, they should have FTC guidelines as well too. So just make sure you do due diligence in your research before you meet with them because it'll be a waste of time if you do and you find out that they're not who they say they are.
All right. Again, I hope if you like these videos, if it is, I'll say because everybody says it, you want to smash the like and subscribe button and share this with other doctors. We're helping other doctors build assets like newsletters, building YouTube channels, letting you guys be more media savvy and marketing savvy. Because at the end of the day, you're not just a doctor, you're a doctor boss.
Take care.